Examples of games that you can use for this, I think the one that is probably quite high up on the list because it's being used in schools a lot is Minecraft. In particular, it actually has an education edition for the game. I have kids and I've got 9-year-old twins, and Minecraft is a regular part of their school week. So the school is using Minecraft Education Edition as part of kind of the education part of it. The other games that are out there, just for example, one that is very popular amongst, I think if you're under 14 or whatnot, is a game called Roblox. So I mean, there's various implications, not like saying that yes, run out and grab these games and start playing with them with young people. There's a lot of things to consider before you actually start. I'm not sure if anybody has had a chance to play around with Jackbox games. I'm not sure, you're seeing a few nods of heads. Jackbox is a good one. There's a similar game on PlayStation called That's You as well, but I think that's PlayStation specific. And then something that we used to run physically was role play games such as like Dungeons and Dragons and things like that. It's possible to then run that online as well. We use a site called Roll20, and it is I'll email all of this to Hillary so that she's got the websites and things that I can share. And it's a way that you can share dice rolls and share the campaign map and things like that. So it's a good platform. Yeah, and the other thing in which we can do, which maybe removes some of the barrier between, understanding gaming and like knowing what to do, what not to do, is actually that you don't have to play the game with the young people. So that's something that we quickly realized is trying to get, because people are interested in different things. And although something like Minecraft or Roblox can be quite popular, you don't necessarily need to play that specific game with that young person. What we have done in the past is opened our kind of online drop-in space for people to just come on board and just be around to chat while they play whatever game they're playing. So rather than playing by themselves in their room, if they aren't, say, part of their own kind of online community, is that we would have an open space where actually people would just come, be on chat. Sometimes, again, the power of silence is that actually it might be silent for a bit, but then somebody drops a question in and like asks, oh, has anybody played this particular game? How do you do this one thing? And people just have a little bit of a chat. Or you kind of ask, like, what are you playing? And, some people in the kind of room, I say room, like channel, we use Discord, so some people in the channel might be unfamiliar in it, but looking for something new to play, so the person kind of chats about it. So not actually having the specific game to play is necessarily a barrier. So that's kind of a very simple way of kind of breaking it down. But as youth workers and as professional youth work organizations, it isn't as simple as just jumping in and running things. There's quite a few things to consider before you do. Within my role for YMCA Tayside, I also manage our IT system. So it gives me a lot of kind of control over making sure that things are above board in terms of accounts that are used and things like that. But the things that we have to consider first and foremost is if we're engaging with young people online, is how are we doing that and in what capacity? Because if we're doing it in representing our organization, or if you have people who you're working along with, whether it's volunteers or whatnot, chances are, depending on what platform you are using, unless it is Zoom, you'll need to create an account. So for the likes of one of the platforms we use is Discord, which is an online communication platform that's popular amongst gamers. So we require that if an account needs to be made, that one specific for your work is created, that young people can clearly identify that you are a youth worker, and it means that the organization has control over, that account. So if, for example, a staff member were to leave the organization or whatnot, you would be able to then close that account if they forgot to do it. So yeah, that's something to consider. Other things to consider are PEGI ratings and age restrictions when it comes to games. There are certain games that can be really popular, but they would not be appropriate to play with young people who are underage for that particular game. And not just whether the game itself has an age restriction. Sometimes the themes around a game or the particular point of a game or whatever, although its age restriction might not be high, it is something to consider actually what the themes are within the game. So I would always research the games that you're going to choose to play and make sure that they're above board, run them past other colleagues, run them past other organizations to see if they've also used them. Something to consider as well, if you are gaming, is, this will seem like a little bit of jargon for some people, but it's private lobbies and private games. So something, when it comes to something like Roblox or Minecraft and all that, those are very popular, like family-friendly games. But you'll notice with a lot of games that say that, oh, this is a 12 or this is an all-age game, it will have a little asterisk that says online play is not regulated. So, and usually if you try to go online with Minecraft for the first time, a warning will pop up to say that you're about to go into a place that is not regulated, because they can't regulate what people say and the sort of language that people use. So it's important that you create a safe environment. So I would say that whether it's Roblox, whether it's Minecraft, whatever it is, if you've got somebody who is experienced and willing to run things for you or whatnot, and you're going to be doing an activity, I would say that that has to be a private lobby. So that can be, oh yes, a game like Among Us as well. I would say, you can create private games. Sea of Thieves, I've not played Sea of Thieves, it's the Xbox One, but that's a good one. Rocket League, Among Us, mega popular. Yeah, so we have used Among Us as well. Shout out to Among Us. Other things to consider, games like Among Us and Minecraft and Roblox to an extent, is cross-platform play. So what you want to do is you want to pick games that, one, are safe and meets the things that I've spoken about, but as far as possible are cross-platform, so that somebody can be playing along on their mobile device, but can also play along on a computer or on a PlayStation or something. I think Minecraft, again, not say is cross-platform across like everything, Switch and everything. It doesn't matter what you play on, you can join each other. Yeah, and lastly, obviously, with regards to any online groups, I'm sure you know that you want to make sure that you're observing as many of your safety and safeguarding procedures that you would do face-to-face, and the same applies to within the game lobby. We would always have 2 staff members present. We would make sure that if young people were under 16, that we had parental consent for them to engage. Now, online work, and we had to get consent again at the beginning of the last lockdown because none of our consent forms actually mentioned any kind of work that we were currently doing. So we got consent again from parents. And the other thing is that we updated our social media and online privacy and confidentiality policies to include the work that we were doing. So we made use of a lot of the guidance from like YouthLink and Youth Scotland, and looking at all those sort of things.